it's recording.
I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Whew. Changing the subject.
Do you want to talk about anything before we get started? To check in? Like, is there anything specific that you want to talk about before we go?
No, I don't think so. I think we had a great conversation yesterday, but that happened yesterday.
Yeah.
So we don't need
also, I mean, this won't make it in, but I really do appreciate that conversation. It made me feel a lot better.
I just want to let you know, this will never make it in. Thank you so much. That's so funny. I will never
have one evidence of this.
Yeah.
But truly, that was really one of the best conversations I've had in a long time. And you being there as a friend for me in that situation was really helpful.
Sure. Hey, by the way, I don't even want you to keep that in. Okay. So good. You know what?
Welcome to another episode of Call Him Father. Wow, we're back, baby. Better than ever.
Better than ever. Really?
Well, time will tell, but
yeah,
I don't know. I got a good feeling because whether we do it today or not, we are coming to the end of Genesis.
Yeah, we are.
And that is...
it's been 12 episodes.
So at this rate, I mean, we're going to be...
Honestly, not bad, because I think going through the law and stuff, second half of Exodus is really law heavy. Yeah. Like it's what I'm reading through in my daily right now. Mm-hmm. It's like the tabernacle and like a lampstand and like building all this stuff. And it's like,
it's it's like an IKEA catalog. It's like how to build it.
Yes. Only so much more complicated than an IKEA catalog. And I wish IKEA wrote Exodus. It'd be way easier. So yeah, I think we'll probably fly through a lot of that. Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. It really picks back up and like, I mean, there's stuff interspersed between all of that, but like Joshua is really where it picks up again.
To actual narrative.
Yeah.
Versus just rules. There's
always narrative throughout all of it, but like where it hits hard with narrative again is Joshua. That's where it picks back up.
Because I was, when's Moses? Is that before or after
Moses
Joshua?
Is Exodus.
Oh, okay.
So it goes Genesis, Exodus, Moses.
But that's big. That's important.
Oh yeah, big stuff.
But that's the beginning of Exodus.
Yes, beginning of Exodus, and then Moses is all of that through Deuteronomy, but a lot of that is law focused stuff, and then Joshua, who is Moses' right hand man, picks up in the book of Joshua, and that's where it goes from there.
Okay, yeah, because I was watching this this documentary, 30-second clip on Instagram of this. I think he was a rabbi talking about what makes him Jewish is that he follows 136 rules of the Torah. That's not the exact number, but he's like, that's what makes me Jewish. And I was like, oh, I thought it was that your mom was Jewish.
Well, it's funny. I was just talking to my friend about that earlier today. Because it is two things. It's an ethnicity and a religion. Mm-hmm. So it's weird because it's like I could convert to Judaism, but I could never become ethnically Jewish.
Right.
So that's why you can have atheist Jews.
Right.
Because they're like, oh yeah, my mom was Jewish and my back hurts. And so they're like, yeah.
Right.
And so, but
I have IBS. I just don't believe it's for a purpose.
Exactly. It's a random IBS.
Yeah.
It's a nihilistic IBS.
Yeah, right. Which honestly, when you put it like that, that is worse. That is a worse version of IBS.
Of course. Nihilism makes everything worse. Makes literally everything worse.
Yeah, but I feel like it gives, if you're like a bad person or like a really selfish person, it gives you carte blanche to do whatever you want and really feel. But if you're a bad or selfish person, that wouldn't matter anyway. You'd really just bend whatever to your will.
Actually, it might make that worse too, because you like having rules to break, but then nihilism says, oh no, there's no rules. You're actually not breaking anything. And then you're like, damn it. I wanted to break a rule.
So maybe there's not even a point to breaking the rules. So maybe it's actually better.
What do you mean?
Because if you're like, I love breaking rules. Oh, there's no rules? Oh, there's nothing to break. I'll just hang out then.
Well, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's why being evil in that case would also be like less fun too.
Sure.
It's not even evil.
It's not even fun to be evil. But that is a better outcome for the world, though.
I'd not say so.
To have people who are evil, who are like they don't even do anything about the evil because there's no point to doing.
If Hitler was apathetic, it would have been a lot better.
If he was a bigger loser, it would have been great.
Sure, 100%. He'd be like, "There's not even a point."
Was he a nihilist?
He was an atheist. I don't know if he was a nihilist. Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
He hated Christianity.
Well,
they were
he
big
hated
into, like,
another religion more, I think.
which I think that's why I think he
Hindus.
started at the dude. You think how many Hindus do you think died in the Holocaust? Like
4.
3.
Just because they thought they were darker Jews.
Yeah,
They thought they were, there's
No, I
Ashkenazi
swear.
and then what's the other one? Sephardic.
Yeah,
They thought they were Sephardic Jews.
Dude, that's so funny.
Thinking Indians are just Sephardic Jews.
Yeah, but the Indians would take it. I feel like Hindus would take the Holocaust on the chin. You know what I mean? Because they'd be like, "Well, we're gonna come back."
Yeah, they have reincarnation.
Yeah, 100%.
Hindus do?
And they,
I know Buddhists do, but
yeah, Hindus.
I
do.
don't
It's-
understand what Hindu is at
sure.
all.
Yeah, Hindus have reincarnation. So I feel like if they got killed in such a horrific way, they'd
Yeah.
be like, "Well, surely I'm up leveling." For
Yeah,
this.
and then they come back as Indians, and they're like, "Fuck!
And they're like, what? But I thought
Yeah, I did so good."
this doesn't make sense. I died in such a horrific way. Why am I not?
Well, when we
leveling
do
up?
the what is it, the Hare Krishna book in 12 years,
Yeah.
we can dive more into that.
Well, that's actually Hindu is the Bhagavad Gita.
Bhagavad Gita, is
Yeah.
it just that, or there's other books?
Dude, I'm sure there's other books. I think it'd be
Hare Krishna is because they incorporate the Bhagavad Gita.
sure. Maybe that's the Book of Mormon of Hinduism, because the Book of Mormon incorporates the Bible, but they changed a lot of stuff. So maybe Hare Krishna is like that with Hinduism.
Okay.
I have no idea.
Well, we never do.
Big old guess.
Big old guess. So, do you want to do the rating thing?
Yeah,
You
I'll
still
do the
want to
rating
do
thing.
that?
Why not?
I don't know.
I think it's a good way to hold on. I got a text.
That sucks.
I'm ignoring it.
Okay.
Doesn't even matter.
Right.
I get texts so rarely. I have to look.
That I feel.
I want them to know that people text me sometimes. It's not just you. I think it's a good jumping off point to talk about where we're at spiritually regardless, because otherwise it's like more vague.
Okay. Go for it.
Religion 8. Spirituality, probably like a 5 or 6. Still using it. It's still like it's been more of a practice week this week, just doing it and really engaging. And I've had really good, powerful moments this week with the Lord, but also, it is. I was keeping that there.
That was on purpose. The pube on your
How'd you know
microphone?
it was a pube? How'd you know that was a pube?
'Cause-
and not just a mustache hair.
no other part of your hair is that curly.
Damn it. Yeah, I'm Jewish down there.
Wow.
Um,
Aren't we all? That's why we got to focus on the things that we have alike.
Yeah, that's a good
We
point.
all have curly hair down there.
Yeah, but you're not circumcised, so.
Okay.
Anyways, it's different.
That's what these Christians are really good at, dividing.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, we are not like you.
Mm-hmm.
So spiritually, kind of it's been good. It's been more of a practiced week. I think trying to see God in the everyday, because you experience Him in the highs and lows, and just trying to be like, oh, God is present in the mediums too.
Sure.
So I think a lot of that is about stretching my awareness of who and what God is, and trying to like acknowledge that, and not be like, oh, I need to search for God. Like, no, God is here. How do I understand Him to recognize His presence here in this very middling moment?
Okay.
In this present moment that everything is totally fine, whatever.
Yeah, neutral.
Neither high nor low. How do I find Him here? Because I
Okay.
know He's here.
What do you do?
I think I acknowledge the fact that I think gratitude's a big thing, and acknowledging the fact that it's like, oh, I'm not in pain.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Oh,
That's
so like
fantastic
acknowledging
stuff.
the absence of bad.
Yeah, the fact that like I'm not super stoked, but also I'm not really upset either.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, that's amazing. The fact that I ever get to have a moment where I'm not in agony physically or emotionally
Yeah.
is incredible.
Yeah, a little bit of peace.
Yeah, so it's like, wow, God, thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
And also to know that there is a purpose behind this too. Because sometimes you get caught in this like neutral zone and you feel like, well, what is that's when I feel the most nihilistic, is when I'm neither sad nor happy. When I'm neutral, I'm like, what is the point of everything? Everything just seems so boring,
Oh, interesting. So if there's no like emotional pull one way or the other, because it's not an emotional experience, it feels like like numb is like almost nullified.
Yes, I'm like, ugh, what is this? So then I kind of do the same thing with where I am with suffering, which is there's a purpose for this.
Yeah.
God is in this, and He's working, and I don't understand what's going on right now, because there doesn't seem to be anything going on right now.
Yeah.
But in that moment, I choose to trust in the Lord and that there is something going on right now. And that like the Lord is working ultimately for my good and everyone else's good. And then I thank him for that. And in gratitude, that really grounds me in the present moment and allows me to like live through it rather than get through it, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah. Well, sorry.
I could tell you're paying attention. I could tell you're focused.
No, that's interesting. Do you ever have it where you're in those like you're in like the neutral thing? You're like, all right, well, something's got to be wrong. How do I find out what's wrong? Like you're so used to finding things that are wrong, where you're like, all right, well, I could complain about something here.
You 100%, dude. I mean, there's the anxieties that I'll have that when they're not there and everything's neutral, I bring them up again for no reason. And I'm just like, I bet they're doing that right now.
Yeah,
and that
why
would make
the
me
fuck
so
would I
sad.
do that?
It's like, no, I don't actually think
It's like you have cake and you're like, I should shit in this cake.
Right, 100%.
I should
You're
take
like, I want to
shit in this cake.
It's not even that. It's an empty plate.
Yeah,
and
it's
you're
an
like,
empty plate.
I'd rather have poop on my plate.
So this
than
I have something
nothing.
to look at.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like I'd rather have a negative thing present than just nothing.
Dude,
you know,
boredom, worst thing of all.
Yeah. So I'm
Worse
really trying
than
to work on that with the Lord and be like, hey, in this boredom, help me find your presence.
Yeah.
And also in boredom, it's hard to reach out to him because I'm just like, I don't think that it's going to do anything.
Yeah, he's definitely not here. He's off doing something.
Because I'm bored.
I think that's where it's like you got to respect other like practices or religions ever, because like the meditation as like of just accepting boredom and trying to create a bliss out of that. There's something to that. I think people do that with prayer, but they talk into it instead of just sitting and listening to it.
Dude, well, I think that's a huge part of what I needed. And that's something I need to focus more on is I do pray a lot and I'm praying out loud to God. How much time do I sit listening?
Yeah.
I
that can be a really sweet experience.
Oh,
like
sure.
where like you almost pick up on like a low frequency of silence that is like very calming.
Sure. I think that's totally true. Like I listen to the Lord's word through scripture, but then when I sit and listen, I don't really sit and listen.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
like,
you got to
talk. So you got anything? Okay, bye. And then I leave, and it's like, well, you didn't even give him a chance to respond. Like you're not even listening. So that's like something that I'm trying to work on in the boredom.
Yeah. Would you ever like consider like meditation, like in the traditional sense of like sitting and doing nothing and just listening versus like trying to hear God specifically or talk to God?
Well,
like,
I think short answer, yes, but also I think if I hear something, I believe that would be God speaking.
Okay, yeah.
Because I mean, Christians just call that contemplative prayer.
Right.
Like that's been around just as
well.
long
Because that's essentially what Quakers do. And like I grew up Quaker.
Oh yeah, you told me.
Is you just sit in quiet, and then if someone feels the Spirit speaking through them, they get up and talk.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then they sit back down, and it goes back to silence.
It's crazy how progressive the Spirit is in the Quaker world.
It's quite progressive. I didn't know Jesus had blue hair.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah.
But also that is newer Quakers. Older Quakers, they keep it about. It's less about like topical social justice type things, and it's more in like a general spiritual realm, or just like life difficulties and how they've been helped by God.
Right.
It's less specific and timely.
Sure.
But yeah, cool.
Those are my answers. What about you? Where you been?
I
went to a different church this morning.
I went to an Episcopal church today, so I'm lesser.
Too bad.
And I went with an Episcopal preacher and his wife and my girlfriend. The church was really beautiful. Someone in the church, I mean, this is a massive church, right? The pews are really nice, by the way. They're cushioned individual seats connected to each other instead of these big, long, stupid.
That's good. They do that for space reasons.
Oh, yeah?
Because when you have a cushioned individual seat, people know where they're supposed to sit. Whereas a pew, you'll take up more room.
Oh, interesting.
So when you try to cram more people in, you make the seats more...
Well, two birds, because it's more comfortable.
Yeah.
The back support is better. But someone in the immediate vicinity had like coffee breath that you could smell from them breathing.
Dude, I had the same thing this morning.
Really?
Some dude behind me, when normal, nothing, whatever, started singing.
Singing.
Yo.
Stink.
Behind me, I'm smelling it in front of me.
It was
unreal.
Every time there was any type of talking out loud, you would just get this like fog rolling over of disgusting
and you have
stink.
To just,
that's crazy. You had that too.
and it's never happened to me before.
Never
at this
happened.
church. Dude, passing of the peace, I vacated.
And also, your
I went
church
to the
is
back.
full. This church was like empty. Not a lot of Episcopalians anymore. People don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
But dude, it stunk so bad. That's an awful smell.
Oh, dude, terrible.
And the fact that it could roll and then sit, it felt like have you ever seen The Fog, the Stephen King movie?
No, I haven't.
Well, it felt like The Fog. It felt like there was little pirates in that stink fighting at my nose buds.
Dude, I was thinking about this last night about fog. Riding home on the train, right? I'm seeing. Normally I can see the city when I drive I'm on the train. Couldn't see it because of the fog, right? And I was like, this whole city is just in a cloud and it's gone. Mm-hmm. This city's tiny. Just a cloud makes it disappear. Just a simple cloud and it's gone.
It's a big cloud though, and it's also
Dude,
it's because
relative
it's so
to
tall.
clouds, no, not a big cloud. Normal cloud.
How did you couldn't see the extent of the fog? You don't know how big it is.
Exactly. That's a great point. Maybe it's even smaller.
Or it's bigger.
In relative fog terms.
But so we're both not right.
Well, when are we both correct? When is either one of us correct?
I like that you're admitting that.
Oh, well, I mean, it's not me, it's God. I'm not right about that. God is right about it.
Okay, so yeah, that was an experience that made me less religious.
You're just so angry
Dude,
in church. Yeah.
To smell someone's breath from like meters away is disgusting.
What are we, European meters?
Sorry, baby.
Yeah, all right.
I'm open-minded.
Yeah, we have to our European listeners.
From a while away was impressive. The Episcopalians very social justice-y, or at least.
Oh yeah, sure.
And so the whole speech was like, it's an International Women's Month, and I was trying not to be like, because what he was saying was interesting, but I didn't like the preacher or whatever they're called as much as the guy of the
preacher
Central Presbyterian that you go to. I like that guy a lot.
What was it just too like agenda driven, or
it was it just felt, again, it's like these things that we're talking about in religion, they're like eternal truths. Mm-hmm. So therefore they're always relevant, right? And they're always applicable. And so they do fit into anybody could fit them into any agenda.
right?
But it feels like the thing to do is not to fit them into the agenda, but present them in their broad terms.
Right.
And then each person individually uses that for their own agenda. I keep saying agenda, but it's like, instead of this being like where you're getting your specific ideas about is what you should do and how you should do it, you're getting a broad, like, these are truths that are true throughout time, and you apply them within your time and your life.
Sure.
Does that make sense?
100%. Rather than looking at the Bible through International Women's Month, look at the Bible and then look at International Women's Month.
Yeah.
100%.
Which
it's a primary lens, not a secondary.
Yeah, it felt like he was doing the flip.
Well, it's International Women's Month, so now let's read about Ruth.
Yeah.
Let's read about Esther.
But it was still,
or Deborah,
the whole
probably.
thing. I did like the overall message, which is like, women give us new life, and that's a very scary process to go through birth, and we're in a scary place in time, so we can see it as like destruction, and we can let our fear destroy us, or we can use it to see it as a new birth of a new future. So it was nice.
Oh, okay.
It
sounds like this guy's like secretly a Trumper. He's like, it's scary, but maybe
if that's what's coming,
best time of our lives.
If that's what's coming across, boy, have I done it injustice, because he was not. But it was more like, message of hope in trying times via
that's good
gynecology.
Sure,
but
sure, Mom would appreciate that.
She would have loved it. He said gynecology was like what made us human. That was an actual quote.
Gynecology.
What makes us human is gynecology. Is like our taking care of each other and bearing new life. And specifically gynecology is the study of that. Hey, if you've met Barb, she would really.
I haven't met Barb.
She's a great lady.
I feel like
this week. Yeah.
What's happening?
She's going to be in town.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
I think I'm busy.
I didn't even tell you a day.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm busy all
I'm
week.
busy all week.
Guy who's really never busy the entire time I've known him.
I'm embarrassingly free. It's really bad.
Okay, anyway, this is a very long beginning, but anyway, we were with the Episcopal priest after we had breakfast, and I told them, like, sometimes the specificity of these religions make them seem less true than more, because you feel like people, when they're saying this, they're saying, I know God. This is what God wants. And part of it, the mystery is like, no one knows God. And so it can deter me personally from, it can spin me away from that specific religion. Does that make sense? Like,
I understand what you're saying. Yes.
The confidence feels like arrogance a lot of the time.
Oh,
and the
absolutely.
arrogance pushes you away.
Sure.
So between these like two experiences today of like having these really great conversations one-on-one with this guy and his wife, who were really smart, and then this kind of very strange experience with this church, I'm going to put myself at a 4.
Religion?
Yeah.
Nice.
4
That's pretty
religion
good.
of like, I think I'm in the right area of like, I'm talking to people
You're in
about
the rink.
about God. I'm in the rink. I don't know, what side I'm on, but it
Sure.
feels like I'm doing the right thing.
Nice.
And then spirituality, I'd say 6, 7.
Whoa,
it's like
nice.
I'm back to trying to pray more, and then integrating some meditation in, and just be aware, be listening, and try and remove my sense of will, like my sense of control.
Yeah.
That's been a big thing
Totally.
this week.
Yeah.
Is letting go a little bit. And I think when you let go and you let whatever is happening, if you want to call that God, I'm comfortable calling that God.
You're so close to saying let go and let God, and then you pivoted.
Oh, I don't even know that phrase.
Oh, you don't?
No.
Oh, let go, let God. That's
Oh, I've never heard that before.
Oh, yeah. And you're like, let go and let whatever it is you think about, whatever it could be.
It wasn't. But I think people are, for whatever reason, myself included, are uncomfortable. I'm comfortable calling it God. So if you let God kind of do the thing, then you just feel a relief. You just feel like hey, like it's not all on you, and that's very nice.
Oh, yeah. It's very nice. Yeah.
And also it's true. Your span of control, whether you think you're, whether you're like this, you're Bill Gates or you're like a homeless guy, is pretty thin, I think.
Listen, I don't hope death on anybody, but that billionaire that's like taking his
I thought you were going to go the homeless guy.
Oh.
I don't wish death on anybody, but the poor.
I don't openly wish death on anybody, but
Yeah.
But this billionaire guy that like takes his son's blood.
Brian Johnson.
Wait,
I
want him to get hit by a bus so
Dude,
bad.
I was talking with Caroline about Brian Johnson for like an hour. That's evil.
Oh, sure.
That's an evil guy.
Yeah.
Damn.
I mean, if he got hit by a bus, there is not a funnier death in existence.
Yeah,
that's ever
to
happened.
fight so hard
To
against
be like, no, I'm gonna, my
inevitable.
blood scores and my sleep scores. You just get hit by a bus.
Or you know what? Even like an asteroid hits him.
Oh, just like a pebble-sized asteroid.
Yeah, just like
through his brain.
Statistically impossible, right through his dome.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, man. I mean, it's like, and again, I don't actually wish him death, but
it'd be so funny.
What I really wish is I wish I wish reality to smack him, and for a lack of success of his efforts. That's what I want, is for him to know that he is not eternal. He will not live forever.
Yeah.
He's so clearly terrified of death, and he won't face that. Instead, he's just avoiding it by saying, I will never die, or whatever he's saying.
But that's what's tough, because he's like this example of like part of the reasons why humans are cool. I don't know if good, but what's cool about us is we always are pushing. We're always fighting death and discomfort and making lives better overall, if you like believe Steven Pinker.
Yeah.
Like,
I do.
And I just don't know enough about it.
Okay.
I've never read a single book of his. I just know the argument.
He's a good listen on pods. He's great.
But so if you believe that, like, we're moving forward, we move back, but never the full step, blah, blah, blah.
Sure.
He's an example of that, but he's such a extreme example of that where you're like, this is not good. Tone it down.
I feel like he's a version of going to the moon, where everyone's like, why are we going to the moon? What are we doing? Why there's people on Earth? Why are we doing that?
Yeah.
And then it's like, he's the health life version of that, where that hits me personally. I'm like, why is he doing that? It's so annoying.
Yeah.
But I do think that there will be larger health benefits from the experiment of his own life.
Sure.
But it's just frustrating to watch.
Yeah,
because he is so evil about it. It feels so evil.
Yeah, and his face is like, he's obviously got aesthetic work done, so it's like it's about how he looks.
Someone told me that he looks great. He looks so young, and I'm like, shut
how
up,
old
dude.
is he?
He's in
like
his 50s.
He's in his 50s, and he looks 39.
He doesn't look 39. He looks like he's in his 50s.
He looks like he's in his. He looks like a good 40.
No, I don't think. See, that you're doing what bothered me. I'm compromised. Okay, I'm compromised. You can't trust me.
Okay.
I look at him. I think he's 85. I think he looks terrible. He looks.
But you're
like
an
Joan
empath.
Rivers.
You see his soul.
That's true. I look at his soul is dead. I mean, it's dead. But crazy if he became a Christian and then he stopped doing all that because he was like, well, everyone dies, and then he just looked really old instantly.
Yeah, like Dorian Gray.
Yeah. Although, okay, church today, you're talking about everyone fighting against this idea. Church today, talking about Jesus, Lazarus' tomb, and about his weeping at death.
Mm-hmm.
And he was saying, like, yeah, but, you know, and what Jason was saying, the pastor, was saying, like,
About how death is wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was saying, like, yeah, death is a problem. We should rage against death.
Yeah.
He quotes that, I feel like, every other sermon now. He's like, rage against the dying of the light.
Damn, maybe
You
he's
know.
dying.
Him?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I hope not.
He's pretty tall.
Yeah, they go like horses.
Yeah. 16 hands. Yeah, so anyways. Well, so spiritually you're like 6'7".
Yeah.
Good convo. I think it's good to widen the breadth of like your understanding of Christianity. Because it is a wide that's something that bothers me. So many people are like, oh, well, Christians think this, that, and the other. It's like, dude, you seriously think all Christians hate gay people? Have you gone to an Episcopalian church?
Oh boy.
Like
Christians are gay people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Christians are pretty gay.
Yeah, well, in aspects for sure.
Yeah, in Episcopal, I mean, that was cool. Also, to see like a wide range of people wearing, because you know what it is you have like the imagery of if you're not a Christian person, the imagery that you have of church is Catholic. That's what you think.
Yeah,
is like scepters and fucking.
Yeah,
because it's an extreme example. Is hats. Scepters and hats and robes and stuff. And then you go to yours and the guy's wearing like a button up.
Yeah.
You know, so
first off, well done. It is a button up.
Yeah.
It's not a button down. People keep calling that shirt a button down, but it's not. It's a button.
I've never heard button down.
Oh, what you're wearing is a button down. Yeah, you're wearing a button down.
Okay. So this is what breaks up the podcast. This disagreement. So yeah, and so you have the like kind of extreme imagery of like massive hall,
right,
and really beautiful but gold, which bothers me to be honest with you.
Sure.
And then all the roby stuff, and then they're like lesbians.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Whereas you're in your head, you're like, well, same stuff, but just white guys who died years ago and are still animated somehow.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like really old looking people.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wax figurines.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think it's yeah, man. The breadth of Christianity is quite broad, and of course there would be some Christians who are like, well, they're not even, you know,
sure, they wouldn't count them.
But then you've also got Episcopalians who are like, you know, if you vote conservative or whatever, you don't know the love of Christ.
Yeah,
or whatever. You know,
oh,
so
that's this church. I feel like.
The infighting is like nuts. And that being said, I think Jesus is.
He's all about infighting.
He's welcoming to all of these people.
Uh-huh.
He's like, if you love me and look to me for your salvation, you shall be saved. So it's like,
but if you don't, no save.
Well, Jesus says, I'm the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. So I think if you're not trusting in Jesus and you call yourself a Christian, I was talking to someone the other day who considers himself Catholic, but like also they don't really believe in Jesus's salvation and all this stuff. And I'm like, well, then I don't really think you're Catholic.
Sure.
Then like I had a friend in high school who was like, I'm a Christian, and they were Methodists. They're United Methodists, which is more like the Episcopalian side of things. And she was like, I mean, I'm a Christian. I don't know if God's real, but like I'm a Christian. And I'm like,
she's a cultural Christian.
So let me just cut you up. Yeah, that phrase wasn't really around that we were in high school. She wasn't saying that. She was just like, I'm like, okay, well then you're not a Christian. You understand, right? Like you need to believe in Jesus to be a Christian. Like if you hold to the creeds, the Nicene Creed, the Apostles' Creed, that's what makes you a Christian.
Sure, but it is getting into the territory of like almost Judaism of like these are these things passed down throughout my family. Mm-hmm. I don't believe I don't believe in the myth. I believe in the tradition. You know?
Sure, but also I think what's pretty crucial to, and this would be a disagreement within Judaism as well, is like, but is this tradition mean something?
Sure.
Is it just like a dance we do for no reason, or is it tied to a real thing?
I think
Is
that
there a
type of person would
historicity
say the reason. Yeah, I totally get what you're saying. I just think that from that person's point of view is like the purpose is the community built around those rituals and traditions.
Sure. And then I would challenge that person and say, okay, but is that what the historical Christians thought? No. I think they would say that that's an attribute of it. That's like a great aspect of it, but that's not the point of it.
So therefore you couldn't call yourself that.
Yeah. I mean, the original Christians were like poor people. They got crucified. They were getting persecuted left and right. Like they weren't this like, oh, we're doing it for the community. Like if you were doing it for the community, you'd find community another way. You wouldn't be doing it like that. You wouldn't have like rich people going to church with poor people in like the 2nd century AD. Like you wouldn't have them cross over socioeconomically like that. Like that's insane. There's no reason for that. You already have your community. So it's like, if you just look at it historically, it's like, all right, it just seems like they're not actually interested. Anyway, I'm gonna start getting upset.
Yeah, no, it seems like it. Okay, so the book.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So last we left off, Joseph had tested his brothers.
Yeah. And then leaving the money in their sacks, giving them a bunch of grain again, and then leaving his cup that he used for divination in Benjamin's sack. He chased him down, found the sack, was like, "You're all gonna get in trouble." And then they were like, "No, please don't take Benjamin. Our dad's gonna kill himself." And then Joseph like wept and was like, "Oh my gosh, come look at my penis. I'm circumcised." I
forgot about that.
He was like, look at my dick. It's cut.
I'm envisioning like, you know, when like detectives show their badge, he's like flopping it out.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Flip. Detective Jewish.
Yeah,
Detective, I'm Jewish.
Joseph, Jewish division. Look, I'm cut. Yeah, that's what he did. I picture a flasher in the trench coat.
Oh, okay, right.
I'm Jewish.
And they go, brother.
Yeah, 100%.
So yeah, and then he admits himself. So 45, he shows himself, right? Is that 45?
Wait, what do you mean shows himself?
He says, "Hey guys, it's me."
Oh, yeah,
and
he
now
does that in
he's
44.
This is in 44, and so now
I guess it is 45 too. Could not control himself before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So him and his brothers, he finally convinces them, and now he is like, "Go get dad."
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the one thing that I did think was funny was that he's basically like, his brothers, they feel guilty about the whole selling him into slavery thing.
Yeah, it's a tough look.
And so his way of like, and the reason that they sold him into slavery was because he was fucking annoying. He was like braggadocious and arrogant. And so they go, "We're so sorry we sold you into slavery," now that they know he's the king, or kind of basically the Pharaoh's right-hand man.
Yeah.
He goes, "No, don't worry. Don't feel bad. I did so awesome here." Which...
Well, I don't think he says it that way.
He doesn't say it that way, but he essentially is like, no, don't feel bad. Like, this was God's doing.
Yeah.
He put me not in a great place initially, but look at where I am now. Like, this happened for a reason, for God's reasons. And as his brother, I would be hearing that, and I would have gone right back to like the old feeling of like, God, this fucking guy
This kid still
can't
sucks.
even sell him to slavery. He turns it into a fun
brag.
time.
Yeah.
He turns it into a brag.
Yeah, for sure.
So I would have sold him into slavery again, I guess is what I'm saying.
I don't know. I think that's because the way they're living their lives is like fundamentally different. Like Joseph uses the power that he has, but he doesn't put his value in the power. Whereas he's just like, no, I got all this power. It's awesome. But he doesn't.
But it's coming from God. He credits it to God.
Exactly.
He cites his sources.
My value is the power, right? Whereas like if you get jealous of that, that's because you think power is the value. You don't think it's just an aspect of yourself, right? Like if I won the lottery, I'd be like, guys, I just have all this money. How awesome is this?
Yeah.
But some people would like be upset by that.
Sure.
Like,
why did he get it?
Oh, well, why does he have all the money? And I'm like, well, it doesn't change who I am.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a older, younger generation thing with money too. Like my parents are like, don't talk to your friends about money because it's sensitive and it's whatever. And I'm like, why?
I need to know how much they're making so I can compare myself and get mad.
Oh, I don't even think it's comparative. I'm just like,
I'm just talking about from my perspective.
Yeah, from my perspective, I'm like, oh, you make way more money than me? Sweet. I don't care.
Cool. Get dinner.
Great. But it is about where you put your value. And I think he's like, yeah, I have all this power. It's awesome. And he talks about it as if it's nothing. It's just something God's given him. Whereas other people talk about it in pride and say, look what I got. And some people can't understand that someone can talk about it humbly because it's such an idol for them that they don't understand how you couldn't be bragging.
Right.
You know, someone's like, well, no, I just have this. It's not like I'm amazing because of it.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's how Joseph talks about it.
Yep. And so then he kisses them all in the face, and they hug it out. And he's basically like, okay, well, you guys got to go get Dad.
Yeah.
And then you can come here and live in Goshen, which is like a land that is better for herdsmen or whatever.
Yeah, better for shepherds.
But this is where the notes are really interesting, is in the land of Goshen. It says that the reason that he picked this area is because, one, it's for shepherds, but two, it's kind of outside of, it's within Egypt, but it's
like
outside
separated.
it's separated from Egypt, so that they can maintain their culture and stuff without being, I guess, bothered by or subjugated by other Egyptians.
Sure. Yeah.
And then you look into the notes, and there's evidence from what does it say? So it says the Egyptian text Papyrus Anastasius blah 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 blah, allowing. So it's an example from a pharaoh from a long time ago who allowed Edomite nomads to live in Goshen, the same area, to keep themselves and their flocks alive in territory of the king. So it's like a place where historically people could go and still be in Egypt, but not
of the Egyptian people.
Of the Egyptian people, and not subjugate is not the word I'm looking for. Separate but equal. But
Right.
But yeah, so I just thought that was interesting that it was like in the Bible, and then also there's this
historical precedent.
Or this historical like proof of like, oh yeah, this was a thing that people did.
Yeah, 100%. And also it's like Joseph knows, hey, this famine's going to be going on for a while, you know? So just
5 more years.
Just get over here.
Yeah.
You know, you guys get over here. I'll put you up in a nice land. You'll stay separate. You'll be able to have your culture still. Because also remember, Joseph wanted to leave. Like when he was getting out of the prison, he was just like, I just want to get out of here. I'm not trying to be the right-hand man. Like he still valued his own Hebrewness.
Right.
So he didn't want that to become like, he didn't want them to assimilate. He wanted the difference still, but he knew they had to be kept alive. And he had the sway to be able to, allow that to happen. So he provided that with them.
Yep.
Which is cool. Yeah, they go back, and then Jacob obviously is like, no, stop lying to me,
Oh yeah, Jacob or Israel does not believe them that Joseph is alive, even let alone is like basically the Pharaoh and wants his whole family to be relocated to Egypt.
Right.
But then he sees all that sweet plunder. Well, not even plunder, but cool ass merch. Yeah.
Snapback hats.
Yeah, snapback hats. My brother became the Pharaoh of Egypt, and all I got was the stupid T-shirt.
Yeah, fidget spinners.
Yeah. Snow globes.
Right.
Never seen snow in their entire life. Stuff like
pyramids in the snow globe.
Pyramids, snow globes. Fun stuff like that. And so he believes him, and he goes, all right, fine, I'm going to die soon. I might as well go see my favorite son.
Yeah. So then he goes down there, and they fall on each other's necks, and then they
kissing and falling on each other's necks.
Necks is a big part of it.
Yeah. That's an intimate kissing a neck is really an intimate thing.
Yeah.
That's a close family.
It's so cool. And God, Jacob, right? Also, when Jacob goes down there, right? So don't forget, God had promised Abraham, Isaac, Jacob the land of Canaan, and now he's just up and leaving it, right?
Yeah.
So God, when Jacob when Jacob's on his way down there, God shows a vision to Jacob, and he says, I am God. He appears to him in a vision, says, I am God, the God of your fathers. Do not be afraid to go down to Egypt, for there I will make you into a great nation. I myself will go down with you to Egypt, and I will also bring you up again, and Joseph's hand shall close your eyes. So he hasn't even seen Joseph yet. He's on the way down. And then God gives him a vision, being like, I'm with you still. I'll be with your folks down there. And by the way, Joseph's hand will close your eyes. How crazy is that? You haven't even seen Joseph yet. You've just had like your kids
but you
tell you he's
know
alive.
He's gonna kill you.
Yeah,
he's gonna put a pillow over so he can take his inheritance.
Yeah, exactly. That's not what happened.
Yeah.
And then so that's Yeah, that's so crazy. So then they head down there, and Jacob is like 130 or something at the time years old.
He's 130. He dies 17 years later.
Yep.
147.
Dies at 147. But he goes down there, and it's they also do they list out all of the folks.
Yeah,
that go
another
down there.
genealogy.
Another genealogy.
And there's some accounting errors,
From
which
all
you wouldn't
the-
expect.
Wait, what?
There's some of the numbers are off.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, they're off by like 4 or 1, or like all of the names don't quite add up. And there's some stuff in the notes about how like people have tried to make sense about this.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
That's kind of fun.
Oh, you didn't read that?
No.
Oh, look at me.
Read the notes. But then they do a lot of accounting for all that stuff down there. And basically, how many people did they say? 70 something head down there or more?
Yeah, it's like 77.
Yeah, 77 go down there. And that's where it starts. And then, spoiler alert, when they leave,
Josh, no.
it's something like 600,000 people or 1 million people or something.
Really?
Yeah, it's like a shat ton of folks.
Wow. They had to do a lot of sister fucking to get to that.
I think they probably married some of the folks around them. But yeah, it's
I
like
would
there was
hope
a lot
so.
there was a lot going on down there.
Yeah, and then Joseph warns them like, hey, when you talk to the Pharaoh, say this exactly.
Right, because when they come down, Pharaoh is like, yo, my right-hand man, your family?
Mm-hmm.
What is this? So they want to like introduce and meet and all this stuff.
Yeah, introducing to the parents to the parents.
Right.
This is essentially Meet the Fockers, but
You know what? I've never seen that.
you've never seen Meet the Fockers?
No.
It's a fun one.
That's what I hear.
Yeah. But this is what I thought was interesting is that shepherds, the last line of the chapter is, say your servants have been keepers of livestock from our youth even until now, both we and our fathers, in order that you may dwell in the land of Goshen. For every shepherd is an abomination to the Egyptians. The Egyptians hated shepherds. So that's why he's like, say keeper of livestock, don't say shepherd. And the notes don't really have a fully satisfactory answer because there isn't one available of why Egyptians hated shepherds, but they thought it might have something to do with like animal sacrificing.
Yeah, and dirtiness, and I think just of low status. And
Yeah.
things like that. Like, I mean, shepherds were never really seen as like
It's a sick job, though.
high. Sure, I mean, we could think that now, but back then they're like, ugh, it's gross.
Yeah.
Just watching these sheep that we don't like. It's like it's the blue collar worker back in the day.
Yeah.
It was just like, oh, there's nothing glorious about this.
Yeah, but it's cool. You get to play with the animals. You get to have the dogs chase them around.
You're really not trying to get into their headspace here.
no.
You're just like their headspace wrong.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, fine.
Anyway, and so then they come down and they settle in Goshen and they talk to the Pharaoh. This is 47 of Genesis. And he's like, cool, you guys, you get all this stuff and you have you're going to love Goshen. And
Jacob, maybe you're going to get to this.
I was going to say, Jacob, bless the Pharaoh.
Yep. How powerful is that, dude? How crazy is that? This guy comes down with 77 people. He's the father of Pharaoh's right-hand man. And so Pharaoh reveres him so much that is like, I'm the king of this huge nation. Bless me.
He doesn't ask to be blessed.
Jacob just does it. That's powerful.
Yeah, but you're making it sound like the Pharaoh
I guess you're right.
respected him so much that he asked to be blessed, but he doesn't.
I guess I assume he has to be blessed. But if not, I think that's even crazier.
No, he just blesses him, it says in the thing.
Yeah, that's so nuts.
Yeah, that part's interesting. And then the next part is very interesting of even though they built up these reserves, well, because they built up these reserves of collecting 1/5 of all the grain or whatever.
From the good years.
People are buying the grain from the government. But eventually they run out of money. They can't produce anything, so they run out of money. So they say, well, I guess take our livestock. And Jacob goes, okay, I'll take all your livestock. We have this thing built up because I saw this premonition. And then after another year, they run out of livestock. And so they're like, okay, buy all of our land and us as people. So they kind of like self-slave themselves, self-enslave.
Yeah.
Or like debt slave, I guess is what it's technically called.
Sure.
And Jacob goes, yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Then he...
destroying the power of the government.
And then he says, I will collect 1/5 of your labor, and the rest of your labor will be the other 4/5 will be yours. It doesn't say for how long, but it's kind of like the first introduction to like a government credit. Like it's
like
this
taxation.
Is taxation. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, and also it doesn't say that they're like upset about that.
Well,
They're
they
like,
offer it is what it meant. Because it's really, I found my first read of it. I was like, oh, so he's kind of taking advantage of people during like the lowest time of their like they're all terrified.
Right.
But then it is also like, it's a little murky morally because they in the book they say they asked for it. Like this is the deal we've given to him.
Right.
It's just a little yucky. I guess it's like bad times call for extreme scenarios.
Sure.
But also 1/5, that's a 20% interest rate.
Well, yeah, 20%. Yeah, 20% taxation, which is this, I guess, what they gave them in good times too.
Oh, okay.
You know, it's like what they gave 1/5, or what were they collecting once? No, it was 1/5.
They collected 1/5.
Yeah, they collected 1/5. So it was kind of like that, and so it's like you get 4/5, and that was apparently more than enough than what they needed because they were able to give up 1/5.
Right.
And yeah, I mean, they saw how that in their past had benefited them.
Yeah.
Right. So it was almost like, hey, in the past when we had good years, we did 1/5. When we start getting stuff, let's just keep that going.
Sure.
Let's just keep 1/5 going
consistency's sake.
in case we have a famine like this again, and then we can, enact in some sort of system like this again.
Yeah. But they didn't touch the land or the resources of the priests.
Yes,
so
priests were
even back then, separation of church and state, not really that. I don't know.
Well, that's also interesting. Well, Pharaoh was considered to be a god back then, right? Like he was a representative. He like was God.
Yeah.
So
he would be a theophany.
Well, that's not what they would say, because they would say he was a pagan god. He wasn't
one of many
true
gods.
God. Yes. Yeah.
I just want to use that word as much as humanly possible.
It is a fun word. Theophany. Also, yeah, I mean that's a good deep cut word. So yeah, the Levites, or sorry, not Levites. That's the Israeli priests down the road. But yeah, the Egyptian priests, they didn't have to give up their land. They didn't have to. They kept that all. Yeah, showing the independence of. Yeah, that's. I mean, I like that. Obviously, showing the independence of the gods from their nation state, I think is nice. Like this God isn't an Egyptian god; it is who we believe to be God of everything.
Oh, so you see like moral consistency in that?
Yeah. I do. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it. No, this is, I don't know why I thought of this here, but it's like, I realized like there's no mention of heaven or the afterlife in any of the promises that God makes to the Hebrews, like to like Isaac or Abraham or Jacob. It's like, hey, your family will one day be this powerful nation. But there's, if I could be remembering correctly, but there's no like, hey, in your afterlife, in the afterlife, you will have this thing. Because like Jews don't believe in heaven and hell, right? Or they don't believe in hell.
They don't believe in hell. They believe in Abraham's bosom post-death, and they believe some Jews.
Abraham had a spare bosom?
Bosom, that's what they call it, Abraham's bosom.
Whoa.
And they believe some Jews believe in the resurrection, and this is in the Pharisees in the New Testament believe in the resurrection. The Sadducees did not. So you have some who believe in heaven and some who do not.
So heaven is a New Testament idea.
Not necessarily, because they do talk about the resurrection at the end of days. Prior.
Oh, the Messiah.
Sure, but and then the question of who that Messiah is and all those prophecies. But like the earliest prophecy we have of a larger salvation is right after, at the very beginning of Genesis, right after they leave the garden, right when they're talking to Adam and Eve, and then when God's talking to Adam and Eve, and then talking to the snake, Satan, as it were, and says, he shall crush your head and you shall bruise his heel. I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between your offspring and her offspring. He shall crush your head and you shall bruise his heel. Talking about like the ultimate person who will crush Satan, who will crush sin and death, being Jesus, prophesying Jesus. So there is this larger prophecy going forward.
Well, that's a Christian take on it.
Well, I don't know. I couldn't speak to how exactly Jews interpret that because the way they saw the Messiah was largely political. So they could be seeing Satan as the representative of whatever political structure is oppressing them at the moment.
Oh, okay.
I think that Jesus came to save us from something larger than political oppression, which is just our own nature, our own sinful nature that causes us
that makes us eat that damn apple.
Yeah, that makes us do that. So I think
but I'm right that there is no mention so far of
I don't know about the
afterlife
afterlife in
or
particular.
heaven.
Yeah, well, they talk about Enoch, this is like kind of buried in one of the genealogies. Enoch, who walked with God and was taken up, right? So there's a guy who like conceivably didn't even die. He just got taken.
Sure.
And then later Elijah, he gets taken up too. He doesn't die.
That hasn't happened yet, though.
No, that hasn't happened yet. That's later in the Old Testament. He doesn't die. He just gets taken out. So there is this idea of like kind of
solo rapture.
He goes up on like a fiery
autoerotic erapture.
Autoerotic erapturation.
Rapturation.
What did he die
Just
of?
a belt bringing him up into the sky.
Are you getting hung? He's like, no.
Oh, not quite.
Not quite.
I'm hung.
So there is mention of an afterlife, but it's not this like, and you'll be with Jesus, because the name of Jesus hasn't even come up yet,
Right.
Necessarily. But I couldn't speak to the Jewish understanding of heaven necessarily.
Okay, yeah. Sorry for that diversion, but I was just thinking about when he's talking to God again, like, oh yeah, there's no. It's all like your people will get this thing, but there's no like you and your spirit or whatever will get something afterwards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which I think there's such a big association with Christianity and heaven.
Yes.
So to
100%.
have this be in the Bible, but there's no mention of it yet, for me was like, I kind of would have expected this by now.
Well, I think that's a huge problem. Well, first off, going back to one more thing about heaven, when Jacob falls asleep, when he's fleeing after he tricked Esau, right, and he's going over to Laban's land, and he falls asleep and he sees the ladder. That's good. He sees angels ascending and descending from heaven. So there is this understanding of like there is a place where
They
God
call
is.
it heaven?
The
heavens?
the heavens, which
Yeah,
could be,
yeah.
that's
Okay, then I'm wrong.
That's a fair distinction, but that doesn't even necessarily mean that that's where they're going afterwards necessarily. But there is a mention of it.
Okay.
And I do think. Oh shoot, what else was I going to say? Oh, the fixation on heaven, I think, is a huge problem within Christianity, modern day Christianity, because we forget that God is with us now. You know, and so we just think, oh, we just gotta get through this life and make it to heaven, and it's all about heaven then, and like salvation then, and it's like, well, God came to save us now.
Yeah.
Like he's came to give us his Holy Spirit now so that we can enjoy now. It's not just about like, well, this life is going to suck and we have to believe and do the right things so that we can eventually be happy and enjoy.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, no, he's come to save us immediately. And I think once we accept his Spirit and like understand that God is with us now, it's not that one day we will be with God. It's that God is with us now. Eternity starts now.
Okay.
And I think that that's a big thing that Christians don't focus on. We focus on the coming of the kingdom one day upon his like second coming. We don't focus about how the kingdom is here now, which is what Jesus said. He's like, the kingdom is here.
Yeah.
And it is our job to perpetuate that kingdom through his Spirit by loving others.
And take care of it.
Right. Rather than like just wait until he gets back. It's like, no, we're here. We've been saved. You know, go spread heaven.
Okay, and then 48, we got another blessing.
Big blessings.
And boy, does
a lot of blessing. Well, then 49.
No, that's 49.
48, yeah.
And then and this is another blessing that's kind of like the blessings from the past.
Yes.
So Ephraim and Manasseh,
Ephraim and Manasseh.
The man version of Vanessa. Manessa.
Manessa, vagina. Nessa. Vagina Nessa.
Vaginessa.
That was his sister's name.
It sounds like a big vagina.
Yeah, vagina. Yeah. Whoa, what?
It sounds like something Godzilla fights.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it sounds like
a goddessy.
What's the Loch Ness monster? Nessie?
Yeah, vagina.
Vanessa.
I don't know where
we're Loch Ness monster.
But so Ephraim and Manasseh.
Ephraim and Manasseh.
Ephraim is which one's the firstborn?
Ephraim is the firstborn.
Ephraim is the firstborn, but
wait, hold on, am I getting that right?
And these are Joseph's two sons.
Yes.
And he takes them to his father, who's now in Egypt with him, and his dude. I thought.
Oh wait, sorry. Ephraim is the secondborn.
Ephraim is the secondborn.
That's important.
That's important because Jacob is going to bless them, even though Joseph is really just trying to show them their grandfather. He's not asking for a blessing.
Well, no, he shows up because Jacob's going to die. So I think he shows up and wants him to bless his kids.
Oh, you think that expectation is there?
Well, yeah. I mean, talk about how he lines them up, right? So like, Joseph, let's say Joseph is facing Jacob.
But I thought he offers to bless them before he does that. You keep talking.
Joseph walks in with his sons on his right and left side, right? He puts his firstborn to Jacob's right and his secondborn to Jacob's left. So because that's how he thinks, he wants Jacob to put his right hand on his firstborn and his left hand on his secondborn, because right and left, right is dominant, left is less. And when he blesses them, that's like the right hand is the primary hand of blessing. So you want that on your firstborn, because as we've talked about and has been consistent, firstborn is just better.
It's just better, but no one ever follows through on that in this lineage.
Sure. Well, also you just got to think culturally, that's how it works too.
Yeah.
But God does what? Through Jacob.
He fucks him?
No, not
I
this
forgot.
time.
Oh, okay.
No. Jacob, his eyes are dim and whatever. He's blind. He crosses his hands so that he puts his right hand on the secondborn and his left hand on the firstborn. And then Joseph's all pissed. Joseph's like, no, wrong way.
Wrong way.
But then Jacob's like, he's like, I know, I get
this
it.
is the way.
But this is the way. The older shall serve the younger is such a common thread throughout all of Judaism, all of the Bible, I should say, which is so countercultural and shows how the Lord is with the weak and how those who are considered less than and blesses them.
Also, I was wondering, do Christians see this theme as like, hey, Judaism came first. Judaism's the firstborn, but the second, Christianity, has that ever been a thing?
I don't know.
Christianity is the second one, but
I don't know.
No,
maybe.
No credence to that.
Well, I don't know. Maybe it's kind of interesting, but I don't think.
And then the thirdborn, Islam. Who gives a fuck?
I mean, yeah, that's not even the kid. Well, I mean, Christianity, the middle child, we get forgotten about, lost in the sauce.
No, but it's the second one.
Yeah, the second one. Yeah, but they're not kids. I don't know. I see what you're saying.
You see what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying.
Iteration.
Yes, the second iteration is, I think, perhaps the true. But I mean, ideally, Christianity envelops Judaism and answers it. They're not necessarily. Christians would say that they're not necessarily
opposed.
two different things.
Uh-huh.
They would say, yes, Judaism was the true religion, is the true history of Christ, and then Christ is the answer that religion was looking for and ushers in this new. It's almost a rebirth of the same child. That's what Christianity would say.
But Jews would say, "Get away from me!"
Jews would say, "Not yet. It's not the guy.
Right,
it's the
okay.
wrong guy."
Okay,
we
all
love
right.
you, Jews. It's not. It's just you sound like that. I'm sorry.
Sometimes.
It's
also just such a funny voice.
Have you seen this video of this like 16-year-old super Jew on Instagram?
No.
Where he talks about the phone being have you
Oh,
seen that? He's
yeah,
like
yeah,
the
yeah.
most Jewish kid you've
Yeah.
ever seen. He's just saw the phone.
He's like Woody Allen squared.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
so funny. You forget the word he uses, but it's man. Anyways,
Yeah, I like that
that's
video.
a niche reference.
Okay, so he blesses Ephraim. He blesses them both.
He blesses them both, but he gives his right hand blessing on Ephraim, the secondborn.
Mm-hmm. And then you thought the blessings would stop there. Nope.
You're so stupid.
There's going to be so many
You're
more.
so dumb for thinking
Including Jacob blessing all of his sons. And this one is sick because it's like he does everyone. Some are getting a little bit of attention. The big ones like
Judah.
and Joseph, they're getting the other ones. But he's been keeping track. I kind of yeah. He's been keeping track of stuff. So
Right.
I was kind of just thinking of reading the whole thing.
I think let's do one son at a time, or one group of blessings at a time.
Okay.
And just work through it.
Okay. Oh, assemble and listen, O sons of Jacob. Assemble, Jews, assemble.
Jews assemble.
Assemble and listen.
Like hobbling.
Yeah. Okay. Well, give us a minute.
Look at that.
There's stairs. Listen to Israel, your father. Reuben, you are my firstborn, my might, and the first fruits of my strength, preeminent in dignity and preeminent in power. Unstable as water, you shall not have preeminence, because you went up to your father's bed, then you defiled it. He went up to my couch. He fucked
Pillsbury Doughboy.
Pillbox.
Bilhah. He had sex with his not stepmom, with his dad's concubine.
Stepmom.
Kind of.
Yeah,
kind of stepmom. It's weird because there are 4 moms in the whole group. There's Les,
how are you going to resist
Rachel,
all 4?
Bilhah. And so, yeah, it's, he's not going to have his own mom. He's not going to have his mom's slave. So instead, he had his not mom's slave.
Yeah, stepmom slave.
So he's probably like, she's barely even related.
Oh, stop it, step slave.
So yeah, they did that. And it's so funny. I love the parent. It's not a parenthetical, but it's like, then you defiled it. Dash. He went up to my couch. The way I picture him talking about this is he's like blessing him. And
well, she's probably, as a step slave, she probably got stuck in the couch.
Well, no, how I picture Jacob saying this, he got stuck. Yeah.
Oh, I'm so stuck.
Oh, no, I can't get out of my couch.
Such a silly slave.
I dropped my glasses under the couch.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh no, I could get you out of there.
It's my God. Yeah, exactly. That is, I mean, I'm not an engineer, but has that ever worked ever?
Dude, apparently, have you seen those videos?
Never made it to the end, to be honest with you.
Well, I've actually never watched one of those.
Good for you.
Thank you. But how I picture Jacob saying this is it's like he went up to my, like he's blessing him and then he leans to somebody. He's like, he went up to my couch.
Yeah.
Like a side.
It's like a sidebar.
Yeah, exactly. Can you believe that? He went up to my couch.
All right.
Anyways,
next one's
Reuben.
really cool. That's Reuben. So Reuben doesn't really get shit.
Yeah.
I mean, he'll get a fraction of Israel.
He gets like a nice recognition. Like, hey, you're pretty strong and preeminent. Forget
but also
about
you
it.
were a dick.
It's done. That's all over. And then he goes to the next 2. Simeon and Levi are brothers. Weapons of violence are their swords. Let my soul come not into their counsel. O my glory, be not joined to their company. For in their anger they killed men, and in their willfulness they hamstrung oxen. Cursed be their anger, for it is fierce, and their wrath, for it is cruel. I will divide them in Jacob and scatter them in Israel.
Yeah. So these dudes, because they killed an entire village after they circumcised them because of the defiling of Dinah, if you remember correctly.
Yes.
And so they're too violent, they're too strong, and so they need to be separated, and their kinsmen are going to be separated and kind of spattered out throughout Israel.
The tribes of Israel.
The tribes of Israel, so that they can't come together and just be like Genghis Khan level murderers and rapists.
So going back to the defiling of Dinah, right? There's like, I over passionately was probably like, yeah, they should kill all those people for the rape of their sister. And then you more appropriately were like, doesn't that seem like overkill? And I'm like, no. But obviously God also considered it overkill as well.
Right.
And so that affects them. Like there is this sense of justice, although we don't see it in the moment, there is generational impact because of their sins of killing innocent people. Yeah.
You know that Nietzsche quote, the sins of the father come through in the son?
Mm-hmm.
It's like that.
Yeah, I mean that's something that the Lord says. This is again in Exodus, but it's like, the Lord. If you do not recognize the Lord, like the Lord's anger will be against you for generations. But He is steadfast to the thousands. He's steadfast to those who love Him. Mm-hmm. So it's like, yeah, if you don't,
you could switch
God,
it like that though.
Sure. Oh, you can get out of that immediately. You give your life to the Lord, and the Lord's like, you're mine. I love you. But if you don't love the Lord, that will be felt consequentially throughout your generations.
For your
which
children.
I've seen, which you see in life. So anyways, okay, now the next one, Judah.
Judah Friedlander. Judah, your brothers shall praise you. Your hand shall be on the neck of your enemies. Your father's son shall bow down before you. By the way, I should say I do have dyslexia. Judah is a lion cub. From the prey, my son, you have gone up. He stooped down, he crouched as a lion, and as a lioness, who dares rouse him? Who dares rouse him? The scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor the ruler's staff from between his feet, until tribute comes to him. And to him shall be the obedience of the peoples, binding his foal to the vine, and his donkey's colt to the choice vine. He has washed his garments in wine, and his vesture in the blood of grapes. His eyes are darker than wine, and his teeth whiter than milk. I don't know what any of that means, but does David come from Judah or from Joseph?
Judah.
Okay, so this is important because he is the kind of, not the beginning, but he's the guy where the Davidic dynasty will come from.
Yes, Judah is big win. Also, when again, this is foreshadowing, Israel will split into 2 nations. You have the northern and southern Israel. One is called Israel, one is called Judah. And so the idea of the scepter will not leave him is like, okay, he will remain king. Also long blessing for this dude.
Really long blessing.
Much longer than the previous blessings. And basically saying he washes his clothes in wine. Like, how much wine do you have that you're washing your clothes in it?
You're doing pretty well.
Like, it is this just abundance.
You're not smelling very good, but you're doing pretty well.
No, yeah. But you're probably pretty drunk, too. Also, teeth whiter than milk. I wonder how white milk was back then. You think?
I don't think it was that white, but I think the bar for teeth, dude, was so low.
Yeah, so low. Dude, that's something we take for granted a lot. Teeth.
Well, because you're supposed to die at like your teeth are supposed to be like max 30 years old, right?
What?
I think like naturally we're supposed to die at like 40 max.
Interesting. Hadn't thought about that. Maybe.
But your teeth are not supposed to last 80 years. I mean, here they were 170 years. Who knows what that
you probably ran out
relatively means,
ago.
But like your teeth don't last. That's why people get fucking veneers and dentures and shit. Like your teeth aren't supposed to last that long.
That's true.
So these guys have stinky teeth. So if he's got teeth whiter than milk, they probably just were like maybe eggshell.
Yeah.
But okay, then Zebulun, haven't really heard about him much. Zebulun shall dwell at the shore of the sea. He shall become a haven for ships, and his border shall be at Sidon.
So that's kind of just like, it's going to be
this guy's going to be a port city.
Yeah. It's just so funny. I bet Zebulun's like, what am I getting? And then he's like, you're going to be a port city. He's like, cool. All right. Yeah, that's nice.
I didn't do that much, to be honest.
It's not the worst. It's not the worst thing I got. And then kind of the same thing afterwards. Issachar is a strong donkey crouching between the sheepfolds. Oh, it's kind of negative. Sorry. He saw that a resting place was good and that the land was pleasant. So he bowed his shoulder to bear and became a servant at forced labor.
In exchange for he's going to get to a place, he's going to be satisfied, he's going to be comfortable, but he's not going to really want to do much. So therefore he's going to have to work for other people.
Yeah, but forced labor. He's kind of lazy.
Boy, does that hit a bullseye.
Yeah. That dude's lazy. You're going to have to be a slave.
Yeah, call me Issachar.
Yeah.
Every corporate American worker ever.
Yeah, exactly.
Dan Toomey. Dan shall judge his people as one of the tribes of Israel. Dan shall be a serpent in the way, a viper by the path, that bites the horse's heels, so that his rider falls backward. I wait for your salvation, O Lord. Now this one I didn't get. He's like, because it's bad. Serpent is a bad thing back then.
No one's like, hey, good news, you're a viper.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, oh, what? That hurts my feelings.
And you're gonna be like fucking with people along the way. I don't get what this is saying about him, I guess.
Also, how annoying is this? Wait, am I reading the wrong thing?
Dan.
Yeah, Dan. Oh, okay. Sorry, I was trying to find the thing. So I'll just read the note because that's a confusing one. But it says Jacob sees in Dan and his descendants both positive and negative attributes. Their snake-like behavior, not great, is later reflected in their assault of the unsuspecting inhabitants of Laish. And then the name Dan is also a play on the Hebrew word judge. And then the end of it, I wait for your salvation, O Lord. Jacob's pronouncements are interrupted here by a brief prayer that highlights his concern for his descendants. Without divine deliverance, they will not survive. How crazy.
That's wild.
Jacob's like, I'm blessing you, and it's not looking good.
What is that thing that you always used to hear about in sociology classes, like the self-fulfilling prophecy? You know,
right.
Like you grow up in this environment, you're told this thing about yourself, so you're fucked.
Yeah.
He's just really selling him short on this one.
Yeah, Jacob's like, you guys are not going to be doing too hot.
Don't
Sorry
judge
about
people.
This.
Don't be a Dan.
Uh-huh. You want to read the next
Raiders shall raid Gad. That's pretty direct. You're going to get fucked up. Raiders shall raid Gad, but he shall raid at their heels. That's it.
They're going to hit you hard. Let them back a little bit.
Yeah, you'll hit them back. They'll become a warrior is what the note says.
Asher's food shall be rich, and he shall yield royal delicacies.
Just like Asher Roth. You remember him?
No.
I love college.
Oh, I love drinking.
Yeah, that's Asher.
I love women.
Yeah, man, I love college. That's talk about a royal delicacy.
Went
that
out
song.
to eat, then do it again.
Okay, you really know him. I get it.
Yeah, just that one song. That's hilarious. I haven't thought about that in years.
Well, if you can name one more Asher Roth song, I'll give you $10.
I can't.
Lark on my go-kart.
Ew.
It's the only other song.
That sounds like a porn title.
No, it's just
Lark on my go-kart.
It's actually not bad. It's a little Action Bronson-y in a way.
Okay.
Naphtali.
Oh, jeez.
Sorry.
Welcome to Call Him Father.
Naphtali is a doe let loose that beats beautiful fawns. Bear's beautiful. Beats.
Just beats him up. Woo!
This guy hits women.
Oh, Naphtali's Italian.
Naphtali, yeah. Oh, it all makes sense. Naphtali, why you keep hitting me?
You're beautiful, Lord. You beat your fonts.
It is a prophecy.
Oh, so funny. Bears beautiful fonts.
Beautiful fonts.
So basically, Naphtali's hot.
Naphtali's hot.
Imagine that's the only thing your dad can say about you.
Hey,
Well, you're good looking.
it's better than I wait for your salvation, O Lord.
Yeah, that's true. Dan's like, what the hell?
God damn it. Getting the worst blessing has to suck.
Yeah, I know.
Especially out of 12.
Sure. Well, we're not done. Well, we're close to done. And this goes into Joseph. It says Joseph. Listen to the contrast between these is insane. Naphtali is a doe, bears beautiful fonts. Joseph is a fruitful bough by a spring. His branches run over the wall. The archers bitterly attacked him, shot at him, and harassed him severely. Yet his bow remained unmoved. His arms were made agile by the hand of the mighty one of Jacob. From there is the shepherd, the stone of Israel. By the God of your father who will help you, by the Almighty who will bless you with blessings of heaven above, blessings of the deep that crouches beneath, blessings of the breasts and of the womb. The blessings of your father are mighty beyond the blessings of my parents, up to the bounties of the everlasting hills. May they be on the head of Joseph and on the brow of him who is set apart from his brothers.
Benjamin is a ravenous wolf in the morning devouring the prey, and at evening dividing the spoil. That's Benjamin.
That's Benjamin.
This guy gets half a page. Benjamin gets maybe a sentence.
Yeah, also, friggin', what about Zebulun? Zebulun's like, I'm just a freaking port city.
Hey, man.
This guy's Jacob's just glazing Joseph.
Yeah.
I mean, crazy.
He's a Joseph Glazer.
Oh, yeah, 100%. And so
but he always was.
He always was.
Yeah, he always
made him a
was.
thing. Yeah,
Made
100%.
him the Technicolored coat.
Yep, 100%. We could really roll. Let's roll the next two
Let's just do it. Let's just do it.
Do it right now?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
We're
so
finishing Genesis. It's going to be a little bit longer, but fuck it.
Yeah, we say that at 1:12. I think so that is all of the blessings to all of the kids. Probably built a little bit of animosity in between each of the kids. They're probably not stoked about all of it. Some of them are pretty happy.
And those are going to be the nations of Israel, which that's not like there's not a lot of contentions in that area, so it's not like it.
They have their own tribes.
Yeah,
that's the thing. Relatively, they all are blessed, right? Like if you had,
dude, let's not do that.
What?
Wait. Oh, you're talking about the brothers. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you mean?
I thought you were talking about the people in Israel right now.
Oh, no, what? No. I mean, in like Judah and Joseph are the most blessed of the two, you know? And then at a certain point, they're probably like, some of the kids, when they hear the blessings coming down, are like, not bad. Like
bad.
Asher, food shall be rich and shall yield royal delicacies.
That one sounds sick.
If I'm him, I'm like, whoo.
That sounds great.
Oh my gosh, at least I'm not a viper, you know?
Dude, there's no responsibility. He just has cool stuff.
Yeah, hey, you make good food.
That's important.
Yeah, that is important. So then from there, Jacob, it says Jacob's death and burial. Yeah, I said, I am to be gathered with my people. Bury me with my fathers in the cave that is in the field of Ephron the Hittite. So back in the day when Abraham bought this cave, still he's getting buried where his grandpa got buried. Crazy to think that Jacob's grandpa's Abraham. It feels so long ago.
Yeah,
that Abraham was
episodes
around.
and episodes ago.
And he's just like, oh yeah, my grandpa Abraham, the one who was called out of Ur. I mean, like, just so crazy.
I forgot about Ur.
That's where he started. That's where Abraham started, you know? And so basically, it says, when Jacob finished commanding his sons, he drew up his feet into the bed and breathed his last and was gathered to his people.
Just dying on like command.
Yeah, exactly. It sounds like how Yoda kind of disappeared.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, 50. This is the last freaking thing. Sorry, I shouldn't hit the Bible. This is the last chapter of Genesis, and we're so excited that we can't even say chapter because
chapter 50,
because it's really taken a little bit. But chapter 50, Joseph dies.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yep.
Joseph dies. Is there anything? So Joseph went up to bury his father. That's what he did.
But he's buried in Egypt.
Joseph is buried in Egypt, yes, but he makes his family and the Israelites promise when you get out of here, because Joseph believes in the promise that God gave Jacob, that Canaan is still their land down the line. He has faith in that. He says, when you leave here, because you will leave here.
You will eventually get kicked out.
You will get out of here. Take my bones with you, because I need to be up there ultimately. That is my land. So there is this steadfast faith in the word of the Lord. Even when they don't see it happen in their own lifetime, they believe it to be true.
Yeah.
Which is beautiful. And so then God's good purposes,
Yeah, I just don't understand why that's important.
Well, I mean, listen to this. When Joseph's brothers saw that their father was dead, they said, it may be that Joseph will hate us and pay us back for all the evil that we did to him. Mm-hmm. So they sent a message to Joseph saying, hey, please don't kill us. Please don't kill us. And Joseph was like, oh, come on. Do not fear, for am I in the place of God? As for you, you meant evil against me, but God meant it for good, to bring it about that many people should be kept alive as they are today. Not just the Israelites, not just those people.
Oh, but all the people of Egypt, because of
all the people of Egypt, all the people of the world. They meant to kill their brother, and they incidentally saved millions of lives.
So if you want to kill your sibling, trust your gut.
Sell them. Sell them into slavery. Don't kill them. Sell them. So yeah, it just shows the power that God has to take a horrifically evil idea and use it to save millions of people.
He does judo. He uses the power. He uses your own power against you. Yeah,
flips them over. And also, it does show
judo Jesus.
This not Jesus yet.
Yeah,
judo Joseph. Also, it shows again this idea of where they put their value. They're like, oh no, he's gonna kill us because Dad's dead, and Joseph's like, what are you talking about? I forgave you.
Yeah, I already said this.
I forgave. He understands forgiveness and reconciliation so much better than they do, because they're like, if I were us, I'd be holding it against us. And it's like, if they would forgive themselves, they would probably forgive other people better too. But Joseph, they can't forgive themselves. They're like, what we did was so bad, and Joseph's like, it's fine.
Yep. And then he dies.
Yep. And then he also dies, as everyone does. And then how old did he live? Oh, Joseph lived 110 years.
You're getting less years.
Yes, that is true.
But Moses lives a long time.
He lives a chunk of time for sure. I think he lives 120 or something.
Oh, I thought he lives to be 600.
Oh, no, not that long.
Oh, okay.
No, that'd be crazy. That'd be nuts. What are you talking about? 600 years? What are you, crazy?
What are you, in the first 3 chapters?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, what? Then Joseph, this is the last last 2 verses of Genesis. Then Joseph made the sons of Israel swear, saying, God will surely visit you, and you shall carry up my bones from here. So Joseph died, being 110 years old. They embalmed him, and he was put in a coffin in Egypt. So he was put in a coffin in Egypt, but again, he said, when God visits you to take you out of this place, take my bones.
Take my bones.
Also, 110, old. My grandma died at 102. So, not nuts old.
Oh, yeah, sure.
There are people now who are 110.
Yeah.
Kind of cool to think about.
That's true. Damn, we did it. We got through the first fucking book.
I'm about to die, and God will visit you and bring you up out of the land, to the land that he swore to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob. Yeah. So just this, hold on. He will be here.
Yep, keep trekking.
And the next book, Exodus, which we will dive into next time, is picks up a few years down the road from there.
Well,
in Egypt.
Guys, it's been great getting through the first chapter with you
the
past 2 months.
First chapter.
That
was Genesis 1, and now...
first book, sorry.
Yeah, how many pages is that? 137 pages.
Yeah, with footnotes, but yeah.
Come on, man. Do you have any thoughts? Do you have any wrap-up thought? We've never done this before, finished a book.
Never finished a book. Oh, I guess... Oh, yeah, it's like a debrief. I don't know, we're so over time already.
Do you want the next... episode? If we had a Patreon, I would say we should do a Patreon episode debriefing, but we don't have a Patreon, so
so much has happened. I don't really remember much from the beginning. I really don't remember much from the middle, but
yeah,
I guess it's been an interesting read so far. A lot of stuff I wouldn't have expected in terms of the violence and the it's very destitute sometimes, and that's not what you think of. We had this conversation, but it's not what you think of when you think of the Bible, is incest and rape and killing.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of it. and that's been a pleasant surprise.
Thank goodness.
But
we almost went one episode without saying rape.
And I just couldn't do it.
We just couldn't do it.
Sorry. Well, at least we remain consistent.
Yeah, it's true.
Here on Call Him Father. Thanks, guys. Tune in for Exodus, baby.
Woo! Next week.